Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today I'm going to show you how you can use some very simple materials to make some stunning cards to send to your friends. And of course you can do this for whatever motif, occasion, or celebration you want. The stamps I'm going to use today are from our sponsor, Rubber Stamp Tapestry. You can find them online at pegstamps.com, and we're simply going to start off with a 5x7 card base, and we're going to put a piece of 1-inch wide tape across the center. I'm using Post-it tape because it's a little less sticky, but if you don't have that, you can use any masking tape or painter's tape. Just stick it on your clothing like a sweater or something first to make it a little less sticky. You don't want to rip that cardstock underneath. Now, anytime I'm using my peg stamps, I look at the biggest, most dense stamp first, which would be these large roses in this stamp set, Brambly Rose. It's my absolutely favorite peg stamp set. It's probably one of the first ones I ever got, and I reach for it more than any others. It's such a beautiful set. And then I start filling in with smaller, more less really dense designs so that you can kind of see air through, I guess would be a good way to explain it. And what I'm doing is I'm just trying to build a bit of density around that tape so that there'll be a nice pretty border around my brush lettering. Now, I'm not a great brush letterer, but I'm going to show you some tips today to help you get a really nice look, even if you don't have a lot of experience, because it does take a lot of practice to get good at that. And I, quite frankly, haven't put that practice in. So what I like to do is do a little bit of an asymmetrical design here. I like to put more on one side, then just a few little accents on the other side, because if you try to make everything really symmetrical and you're off a little bit, it shows. And this way you just have a little bit more wiggle room. Now you could even just leave that like that, and you could stamp a sentiment in the center, and that would be really pretty. So feel free to do that if you prefer. If you want to handwrite it though, just make a simple line with a pencil, and that's going to help you quite a bit to getting a really neat look. It doesn't have to be fancy, just try to make it as neat as you can. So the markers that I'm using here are dual tip markers. They've got a fine tip on one end and they've got a brush tip on the other. This is the Arteza Twi markers, in case you're wondering, but any brand will work just fine. The key here is just to write as neatly as you can, and I'm doing cursive on this one. I'll do printing on the next one to show you the difference. And then after you've written it, go to the brush end, and what you want to do is go over your lines, but you want to press down with that brush tip as you go. Now, if you need to make the letters kind of join a little bit better, you can go back in with that fine tip and you can smooth it out. I find it really difficult to get a fine line on a lot of the brush tip markers, like the felt tip brush markers, personally, but I think that has to do with my inexperience. You might not need that extra step, but I did. And then I took some really thin score tape and I put a strip above and below the thank you, and then I'm just sprinkling it with some red glitter. And I think this is such a pretty and elegant look. Now, I recommend that you have your glitter match your lettering, and I realized that the glitter was more of like a deeper kind of like a ruby red, and my lettering was more of like a tomato red. So I do end up going over that just to give that thank you that kind of deeper, cooler, richer red look. So, you can always do that. If your color's not just right, like I'm doing here, just go in and go over your letters so they match a little bit better. That's what's kind of fun about having like a nice big set of the brush tip markers, is that they're very useful, and then you can have just the right color that you want for a project. So I just basically had to do the same work twice, but I think it looks a lot better having the ink color and your glitter color match. Now, if you want to have a little bit of sparkle on your letters, which I think looks really nice, and as a benefit, if you're not the best letterer in the world, it disguises that fact. Just go over your writing with a glue pen, and this is a quickie glue pen, and I like it because it dries tacky. So even if you're not very quick, you have to work kind of slow, or you have to set it down for a bit, that's going to stay sticky until you put something on it. So it's perfect for glitter or foil. I highly recommend it, and it's not very expensive. And you can also find that at pegstamps.com. And then I'm just going to brush off the excess glitter, and you're good to go. Now for this next technique, we are going to do some heat embossing with embossing tinsel. And what that is, it's an embossing powder that's got glitter mixed in. And it's really nice because it locks that glitter down, and it gives you a little bit of a raised design. Not as much raised design as like regular embossing powder, but a little bit. It's a little bit more than just using glitter. So I'm going to start off and stamp everything with a gold ink pad. And I'm using the October Mum set because I think this is so pretty as we're getting into fall. The stamps are nice and big and solid, so you don't have to do any coloring, and it's just a great way to get some good impact. Now I want to make sure my my tape's lined up really well, so I decided to put my score tape down before I remove my post-it tape. And now I'm covering everything with the embossing tinsel. And you just want to make sure you have a good coating on everything. Since everything is going to be embossed with that same color, I can do this step all at once, which is really handy. And then all you need to do is heat it with a heat gun. Now I'm going to warn you here, because you don't see a really big difference when you're heating this up like you do with regular embossing powder. You can really see when it changes. It's tough to see with the tinsel, and you can burn it if you're not careful. So what I do is I just very carefully watch it, and as soon as I see the glitter kind of shine more, then I move the gun off, because you don't want to burn the powder. It will make it flat, and it will take away the sparkle. So just be extra careful looking for that subtle change when you have it heated. You might even want to stamp it on a scrap and kind of learn how it changes before you do it on your main card. And because I thought this would be pretty with a frame, I just wiped my gold ink pad along the edges and I embossed that too. And I think it's kind of pretty and rustic. It's up to you whether you want to do that or not. It's personal preference. And then I thought it just needed a little pop of color. I didn't want to just put that right on a white card base. It just looked too plain. So I thought some purple would look nice against the gold, because purple and yellow are complementary colors. And I just mounted that on my card just like that. Now, I think these techniques are wonderful. This, you can see I printed instead I did cursive, and it looks a little bit more casual. And then with a cursive, it looks a little bit more formal, but you can do whatever you're comfortable with, because they're beautiful, and who would complain to get this card in the mail? I don't know of anyone who would. Check out pegstamps.com, the home of rubber stamp tapestry, to find any of the stamps that I used today. Thanks for watching. Until next time, happy crafting.